Hey everybody. So 3 days ago, I posted a video that I recorded on the 8th, entitled The Mega Emperor, the Muskrat King, the Lotus Queen, and the 2024 US elections. Even though I just noticed that I have a little mistake there, the 2025 elections. The 2024 elections. And coming on to the end of the video, I was discussing the Republican Party, and I had this thought that just popped into my head because that's the way my brain works. Lots of thoughts just come out of nowhere and they pop up in my head, and they usually have a reason and they usually come from somewhere. So I was calling them the R Party, and then the thought dawned on me that the R is there's an animal that its name starts with R. So I said, let's just call them the Rat Party. And I have more than one reason why I chose to call them the Rat Party. You know, I thought the fact that it's the Republican Party, and both Republican and Rat start with R, and Russia starts with R. But also there's a story that I remember from my childhood that I had already referenced this story, thinking about how the Republican Party as it is now has turned into a cult. You know, there's a story that popped into my brain, and a memory that popped into my brain from a childhood story. So I'm gonna share with you one of the reasons why I thought calling them as it is now, calling the Republican Party as it is today, this version of the Republican Party, the Rat Party, seemed like, for me, a good idea, and I'm going to stick to it. It doesn't come from a place of hate. It doesn't come from a place of malice, or, it just comes from, it comes from a metaphorical place. It comes from the place of connection and visuals and storytelling. And the reason I felt like I wanted to do this video, I'm going to entitle this video, Let's Just Call Them the Rat Party. The reason I wanted to do this video is because I always wanted to do a video discussing the Republican Party and my point of view, my observations of the Republican Party as it is today. And as I've been watching and getting to know this party very well, for the last since 2017, I've been paying attention to this party, and I've watched its evolution, and I even listened and got to know the history of this party and learn a lot about the Republican Party. So I always wanted to do a video sharing my perspective on the Republican Party as it is today. And I had a comment on this same video that I posted, but the comment seemed to have disappeared, so I don't remember the exact words. I was looking for it and it's gone. But the person said, he said that in the 1930s, I don't know if they referenced the year or if they referenced the time of Hitler, or how they reference it, but they said in Germany during the time of Hitler, they called Jews rats. I'm just saying, that's how they said it. I'm just saying, and they left it at that they called Jews rats. I'm just saying, or something like that. I don't remember the exact words, so I don't want to misquote, but it was something to that respect. And I said, duly noted, thank you for watching, and I left it at that. And the comment has disappeared, so I don't know if the person deleted the comment or what that's about. It couldn't really have a real discussion because they didn't really say anything for me to discuss. They just said they called the Jews rats in the 1930s, and I'm just saying. So I don't know what that's in reference to and what it has to do with with my video. But I wanted to share with you the reason that I have chosen to call this party the Rat Party. So let's get into it. Okay, so honestly, I don't know if I could put my camera at this angle too often, because like I said, it's a challenge for me, because if I look at myself, like what I would normally do, if I look at myself on the screen, it would look as though I'm looking away from you. So I have to focus my eyes towards the camera so I don't look weird. So it's very it's a challenge for me to do that. But I have my laptop right here, right next to the phone. And I am going to share with you share with you the story that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Pied Piper. So I had brought up the Pied Piper in a previous video that I did, because like I said in many videos, I have to talk. I know that, you guys might be accustomed to very good communicators, and I think I'm not a bad communicator. I just have a specific way of communicating. Everybody has their way of communicating. I know you may be accustomed to people that might put across their point really fast. You might be accustomed to, I don't know, cleaner discussions, tighter discussions. But for me, I kind of like process and I think, and as I'm speaking, it's like I'm speaking and the thoughts are coming out, and then they're coming out, they're coming from here and here, my soul and my brain, and they're coming out of my mouth. And as I'm releasing my thoughts and my ideas and my perspective, as I'm talking, more is coming, and more ideas and thoughts that I didn't even know was there would come out. So that's kind of how it works. So that is where the rap party came from. It literally came to my head while I was talking, while I was creating the video, because I try not to make too many notes, because the notes would just kind of like make it even worse. My thoughts have to come naturally. They have to be a more authentic, natural flow. When I try to read from notes, it feels less authentic, and it feels more like I would try to stick to the notes. And as I try to stick to the notes, I don't know, it just doesn't come out as authentic and organic as I would like it to. So you to accept me at this stage as I am is what I would ask of you. Accept me as I am, and give me time to continue to grow, continue to develop my skills, continue to do better, and evolve. Give me time to grow and evolve. But nevertheless, I'm thinking about the Pied Piper. I brought this up in a previous video. That was one that just came out of nowhere, the Pied Piper. And the Pied Piper, as he played his, whatever it was, his instrument, his flute, he would call draw the rats to his music. As he played his flute, he would draw the rats to his music, and they would come out of the wherever they're at, wherever they're hiding in the village. They would come out, right? Come out of all their little hidden spaces. And people would hire, is a folklore. I looked it up. It is based on the Pied Piper of Hamelin. And I learned this folklore when I was in my younger days. So the Pied Piper of Hamelin, and it says here German, I'm on Wikipedia. It says here, German, and it has like the German interpretation of what the Pied Piper of Hamelin is. In German, what it is in German, is the title character of a legend from the town of Hamelin, Lower Saxony, Germany. The legend dates back to the Middle Ages. The earliest reference describes a Pied Piper dressed in multicolored clothing who was a rat catcher hired by the town to lure rats with his magic pipe. When the citizens refused to pay for the service as promised, he retaliated by using his instrument's magical power on their children, leading them away as he had the rats. This version of the story spread as folklore and has appeared in the writings of Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, I don't know if I call that right, the Brothers Grimm, and Robert Browning, among others. The phrase Pied Piper has become a metaphor for a person who attracts a following through charisma or false promises. Does that sound familiar? Person who attracts a following through charisma and false promises. And that's why, I thought of the MAGA emperor as the Pied Piper. I thought of the Pied Piper story and how the MAGA emperor used his social media posts. It started off as Twitter, his tweets, and now his truths, and now his tweets and his truths, and he, I don't know, he played his pipe, and drew all the rats from all the hidden places. They came out of the cracks. So when I'm thinking rats, I'm thinking all the criminals and con artists and hypocrites and liars, the ones that could lie. They could bold-faced lie. They could lie in a way that you just can't, is in an unbelievable manner, because it could be so easily proven wrong, but yet still so willing to lie, because they just have this faith in the system of no one's gonna check, or even if people try to call them out on their lies and check them, they can easily thwart they could easily defend themselves against the truth. Thwart the truth, is that the right word? Let's they just feel confident that they could just lie like crazy in this country and get away with it. And they haven't really been proven wrong. They can be shameless, they can be hypocrites, they can be liars, they could be the worst. And it feels as though the rap party has come to the point where it rewards the worst. It rewards the worst behavior. Like the ones with the worst behavior, the ones willing to lie for the MAGA emperor, the ones willing to do anything, those are the ones that elevated in the party, the rap party. And the ones that try to have integrity, try to, fight for democracy, fight for the Constitution, stand up for the Constitution, do the right thing, stand up for their country, those are the ones who was pushed out. Those were the ones who were bullied and pushed out and treated as, the worst. So I don't feel bad calling them the rat party, because, honestly, they behave like the rats in the story of the Pied Piper, following the Pied Piper, following him off the edge of the cliff, following him off the edge, and the worst behavior has been rewarded in this party. I've watched the evolution, or I guess it was the continued evolution, or not evolution. What's the opposite of evolution? So instead of saying devolution, let's say. So instead of saying evolution, let's say devolution. The devolution. I had to look it up to confirm that I'm using that in the right context. Because remember, this platform is Letitia Learns Life. I have to check behind myself. I have to, check my vocabulary. I say things wrong. I mess up a lot because I'm still learning. I'm learning. And, as far as I'm concerned, I want to get things right and I want to do things the right way, but it's a process. So this is a learning process and a learning journey that we're on. So let's say devolution, the devolution of that party, descent and degeneration to a lower or worse state. In my opinion, that's a lower or worse state, because, that's some bad behavior. The party has devolved so much that they have elected a actual convicted felon. They put up a convicted felon, in their primary to run for president of the United States. And then, they help bring that convicted felon to the presidency, bring them to the White House. And now, some people, there's room, there's a trend on TikTok now, called hashtag MAGA regrets and hashtag leaving MAGA. And a lot of people are saying a little too late. It would have been nice if you had realized these things earlier. It would have been nice if you didn't actually have to see all the bad stuff and you actually listen to people, before you made that decision. So, the rap party, right, as it is today, is a whole different party than what the Republican Party basically is a dead party. That party doesn't exist, right? And at this point, you have the person that's responsible for the devolution of this party, and responsible for the state the country is in right now, and responsible for the president that we have is Mitch McConnell. And now you have Mitch McConnell, who I call the Turtle Man. You have him, voting against, I guess he doesn't really care now, voting against the voting against the people that the MAGA emperor put up to, as a part of his administration, to run all the departments, right? Voting against them, which it doesn't even matter because all of them getting confirmed, right? But basically, he is going against the MAGA emperor. And again, here's the thing: you have, you got to think a little too late. It would have been great if you had done what you needed to do, what was the right thing to do, if you had done what was the right thing to do before we got into this mess. So at this time, America is in deep shit. Honestly, it's in a lot of trouble. And it's going to take a huge fight of the people push back. I mean, people have to step into their power and they have to push hard, because the party as it is, the rap party as it is today, is a fascist party. It's a, idiocracy. Is that the right word? Idiocracy. It's an idiocracy. It is a and this is a new word I just learned. I recently learned a kakistocracy. A kakistocracy. Government by the least suitable and competent citizens of the state. It is an oligarchy. It's a, oh my God. It's just a, it is a, right now, this man has been so bought and sold, by so many groups. I don't even know how they're going to divide him up. But I know the highest bidder was an oligarch, a billionaire, all by the nickname the Muskrat King. He is the highest bidder, and at the moment he seems to be the one that is taking the biggest chunk out of this, easily manipulated, easily bought, and easily purchased American president, right? And the reason that we have a president that is easily manipulated and easily purchased, and this completely unsuitable in so many ways, not to mention just being a criminal, being a dictator, a criminal, unintelligent person, practically seem as though he's not all there, the rats are responsible. The rats are the reason that we have the MAGA emperor and the Muskrat King to deal with, that America has the MAGA emperor and the Muskrat King to deal with. And this country's in a lot of trouble. It would be very dishonest to say that it's all okay, because it's not all okay. And it's going to take a lot of fight. It's going to take a lot of fight. And I shared in a previous video that I posted today, you know, I personally feel as though one of the things is, you know, people have to start to realize what they're fighting against. For one, they have to realize that, you know, what kind of fight this is. They have to connect with their spirituality and their intuition, and they have to turn on their light. But that's a video for another occasion, because I had kind of mentioned it in the previous video, and that is not necessarily where I want to take this conversation. So to close this conversation about the party that I call the Rat Party, you know, I would like to share with you a poem that I wrote. And I call it The Rat Party. Play, Pied Piper, play. The rats will follow you today. They'll never let you go. They'll come out to play. The rats have entered the chat. Red ties and red hats as their brain cells and integrity go splat, turning into slime as they sell their souls and give away every dime. Their leader should do time for each and every crime. The rhinos, they're chased from every conservative space. I got conservative in quotation marks. They are a disgrace, such a waste. Now as the Pied Piper lead, not a warning the rats did heed. They are followers indeed. We cannot let them succeed. Destroy, destroy, playing with people's lives like a toy. Destroying freedom, security, democracy. We need to make him flee. As he plays his hateful tune, they were over the moon. Follow, follow off the edge, pulling many off the ledge. Now the FAFO has arrived, worse than the warnings described, ruining many lives. The rats have entered the chat. The rats follow without spines, leaving their courage behind. Out of touch with the divine, we're running out of time. Will these rats flee? Will we ever be free? Will this always be? Close my eyes, count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Are they gone? If only we could just close our eyes, count to 3, and all the rats disappeared. All the rats disappeared. Because, you know, I don't know if anybody's gonna be offended by this video. You know, people in this country are easily offended, you know, which makes sense. This is a very divided country. People say a lot of hurtful things. This is a country that people are cruel to each other and they treat each other badly. I gotta tell you, me calling this party the Rat Party doesn't come from a place of hate or malice. It, you know, I'm speaking the truth in love, as I would call it, from that Bible verse, truth in love, wearing my heart shirt, you know. What is left of this party are very, very low vibrational people. They are honestly the worst people in society. They are the ones that hold everybody back. They are the ones that at this time are partially, they play a role in the responsibility of the deaths that are going to start to take place because of everything that is being taken away or shut down. People's insurance, people's social security is being messed with. People's tax returns are probably going to be messed with. Like, you know, closing down U.S. aid. Come on, man. U.S. aid all over the world. You know, I actually heard on Lawrence O'Donnell, a video clip that I watched on YouTube with Lawrence O'Donnell, when he talked about a old woman that, you know, went to a hospital, or she went somewhere to get some care, and the place was closed down, and she died, you know, and you know, that made me sad. I don't know the whole story about that, and I don't even know if I tell the story right, but something along that lines, where somebody went somewhere where they were supposed to get care, and it was an old person, and she died. because she didn't get the care that she needed. And, this billionaire, Muskrat King, that's another reason to call him the Rat Party, because I'm calling him the Musk Rat King. So there's a lot of connection and play as to why the Rat Party is perfect. Like I said, let me just recap. Same letter beginning for Republican rats, Russia, the Muskrat King. There's a lot of rat connection here, right? It's like too perfect not to go for it, but anybody that's supporting this party at this point, you're supporting cruelty, you're supporting anti-democracy, you're against the Constitution, you're not a patriot, you are for lawlessness, you are for violence, you are for a dictatorship, you are for oligarchy, you are for all the wealth being stolen and harnessed at the top, whereas all the people below the top will struggle and will suffer. So again, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for sticking with that metaphor. I'm going to stick with it because they absolutely deserve it. I think that actual rats, are created by God, created by the creator of life, and they belong here. And there's obviously a purpose of why rats was created. Rats have a purpose. I was actually planning to look that up for this video, so to talk about that. But these people are using their time and their space and their energy on earth and their life to do a lot of harm to a lot of people. They have surrendered their integrity, surrendered their spines. They have chosen cruelty. They have chosen hypocrisy. They have chosen lying, like extreme lying, because we're all liars. Humans are liars. I lie. All of us lie. We lie at some point, But they're liar. They're dangerous liars. The kind of liars that they use their lies to abuse and to hurt people and to bring pain, suffering, and death. And they deserve the title, the Rat Party. So it is with love in my heart and light in my soul that, as an observer, I call these people the Rat Party. I call this party the Rat Party. Not out of hate, not out of malice, but out of observation, out of, for metaphorical purposes and storytelling purposes, and the connections that are made by calling the connections that come out of it, So thank you for watching this video. I think that is it. I think that is everything. It's imperfect video. I'm an imperfect presenter of I'm an imperfect communicator, but I hope that I was able to say what I wanted to say, and I hope that you enjoy this video. And what I would say to end it is, don't be like the Rat Party. Don't follow a cult leader off the edge. Don't follow a cult leader to be led to be the worst version of humanity, the worst version of yourself. Don't be such a dangerous liar. Don't hurt people. Don't be so cruel. Don't support cruelness. I mean, just because these people, the people that you disagree with, that because they have a different idea of life and they worship differently and they love differently and they dress differently and they live differently and they go by titles that you don't appreciate, and their ideas are different to yours, you are honestly supporting this party as it is today, that is supporting controlling people in the way they are controlling people, taking away from people, and genocide and ethnic cleansing, and bringing back the concentration camp idea, and bringing back a lot of the ideas from the 1930s to 1940s Germany, and bringing back slavery, and bringing back segregation, and bringing back racism on the mainstream, and destroying lights, devouring lights, destroying creativity, destroying joy, devouring passion, trying to deprive the planet of, what makes it great and beautiful, with no concept of love, no concept of what is actually great, no concept of what is wonderful. I mean, like, seriously, if you support that, there's no way that you have a single right to be offended, if somebody calls you a rat, if somebody calls you worse than that. Because like I said, my rat, when I say rat, is for metaphorical purposes. Somebody might call you rat for another reason, because it's, for other reasons, or even worse than that. You deserve to be called worse than that if you support this party and you support what it is today, because this is not the party that, this is not what the Republican Party was. It's not Mitch McConnell's party, and it's not John McCain's party, and it's not Mitt Romney's party, and it's not the party that it was in the time of those people. It is something this is Elon Musk and Donald Trump's party. That it belongs to them now. It belongs to them. And, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on Lindsey Graham, the most slimiest rat of them all. No, that one. That's this time there's a little bit of malice in there. Slimiest slime ball of all. The reason I would single him out as the slimiest is because I know for sure, from who he was to who he became, you could definitely see the evolution. This guy used to hang out with this guy used to hang out with John McCain and Joe Biden, right? So he knows how to be with good people. He knows how to do the right thing. He knows how to be better than this, and he chose this. He chose to sell his soul and to become this slimy slime ball, the rattiest rat of them all. So, thank you for watching. I hope it was informative. It, like I said, it didn't come up perfectly, but I hope it was informative, and it gives you a little bit of knowledge that you may not have had before, or places to look, things to look up. So I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Peace and blessings.